Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hope you are doing well. For those of you that are new to my channel, I am Obi Vincent. If you're not new, welcome back. Today's video, you probably already know, you've seen the title. But first of all, I'm actually in Portugal. So if you're wondering, his background looks different, that's because I'm in Portugal. The video is coming out soon. But this video, I've been in Portugal for a few days and I've just been thinking, there's a few things I've been thinking about and I thought I would share with every single one of you. And it's all, you already know what I'm going to talk about. It's in the title. And these are a few things that I would have been great if I started when I was in my 20s, or things I wish I had known when I was in my 20s that might be helpful for some of you who are watching my channel. I know a lot of you are, between the age of 20 to 30 plus. And I'm hoping that some of you also will find this useful, and some of you might actually even have more points that you can contribute. This is in no way, me giving you advice. This is just me sharing things that in my head that I just thought that, I'll put out there. The first one for me has to be, I've just put it simply, being vulnerable. Now, a lot of you will be thinking, what does that mean? For me, that just means talking. I remember going through a lot of things, especially in my head mentally. I didn't know how or what was happening. And it took years, till I was in my, 30 plus before I spoke to someone and realized that I was going through a lot in terms of anxiety. And this was something that I wish if I had been vulnerable and not had that, stiff upper lip, as the Brits call it, and tried not to be, one of those guys that felt that it was weak if you shared your emotions. And so that was the one thing that, I wish I could apply to my life a lot earlier in my 20s. Just being able to admit that, look, I'm not okay, I need help. And it's actually not a weakness to be able to say that you need help. Also talking to your friends, being able to be vulnerable to your friends is something that I also wish that I could have done in my 20s, because I felt that I would be judged. And remember, if they're your friends, they wouldn't judge you. And if they do judge you, are they really your friends? This is something that, it's a habit that now I have formed in my late 30s. And I wish that, I would have been more vulnerable a lot more when I was in my 20s. So the second point for me is overthinking, which was a habit that I had for a long time. And part of it was just being anxious about the future. And this is something that I should have learned a long time ago, that, I wouldn't have it all figured out. And that's actually okay. I remember turning 25 and being so anxious because everyone around me seemed to know what they wanted to do in life. And here I am thinking, I really don't know what I want to do. And I would have sleepless nights full of worries that I was basically a failure or a loser for not having figured out what I wanted to do with myself in terms of, where my future was headed. And it got so bad, it affected my sleep and my anxiety got worse. There was a point when I used to grind my teeth at night and I had to start wearing night guards because of it. But alas, it was only when I hit my 30s that things started to fit into place and I realized what my passions were. And then I was able to turn my passion into a career, which of course was making fitness content. And if only I could go back and say to my younger self, hey dude, listen, it's okay, don't be so hard on yourself and take it easy. Just enjoy your youth because you're only in your 20s once. Unless you believe in reincarnation, then I would love to come back as an eagle, please and thank you. Oh, and by the way, even though in my 30s, and I have said that I'm doing what I love, I pretty much still don't have it all figured out. This time around, I am absolutely comfortable with that and I am not stressing over it. So my next point is finance and money management. Yes, I know, very, very boring. I know we all don't want to think about this. Now, unfortunately, in schools, we are not taught about financial management, being financially literate, which is something that I've had to learn late into my 30s. Things about savings, investments, pensions, being self-employed. Being self-employed is a different ballgame to if you work for someone. And a lot of these things I've had to learn later on in my 30s. So for example, things like investments, which most of us probably have no idea. And I've had to sit down and really, you know, when they have investments for dummies, that's what I've had to do. Sit back and learn about investments into my future and learning to be financially secure. So when it comes to my earnings, I make sure I have a certain percent that I put away for savings. After paying all my necessities, all my bills, then whatever I have left goes into savings before I even think about the latest shoes, the latest, you know, t-shirt, whatever brand you're into. So this is something that, again, yes, it's fine to spend and enjoy your income, enjoy your hard work, but remember that you need to invest into your future. And this is something I wish I started to learn a lot sooner. And however, it's never too late. It's never too late to start, but I would have had a much more bigger advantage if I had started to learn all about this in my early 20s. And there's also things about credit scores. If you don't know about your credit score, start looking that up now. Things like having a credit card. Now, don't go crazy. Don't start using your credit cards to buy things with money you don't have to impress people you don't probably like. Credit cards are great to help with your credit score. Now, this is a caveat. I'm not giving you financial advice, but I'm just saying, making sure that you always pay off your credit card on time. That will help your credit score. If you're looking to buy a house, if you're looking for a mortgage, all those things really do apply into your credit score. So if you don't know what that is, Google it. Trust me, this is something that you would definitely need to learn in your 20s. This is probably going to be one that might apply to only some of you, and most of you, it doesn't. And that is opening yourself up to adventures. What does that mean? It just means traveling. In my 20s, I rarely did any. And that's just the honest truth. And the main reason I love traveling is it's allowed me to broaden my horizon and learn so much about different cultures. I focused a lot on working and growing my savings that I actually forgot to enjoy my hard work and explore other countries out there. After traveling to a few countries this past year, I honestly believe we can all learn so much from traveling and exploring other countries and learning different cultures. It also makes us appreciate the world a lot more, and this is just my opinion. Even if it's going to a neighboring country close by, for example, in the UK, we get to Paris in less than 2 hours at a relatively cheap price. Now, this one comes with a caveat as well, because I know not everyone has the privilege to do this. And also, being from certain countries, traveling is an absolute nightmare. I know, I used to be Nigerian. Well, I'm still Nigerian. I used to have a Nigerian passport, and traveling to certain countries was just, the bureaucracy just puts you off. And of course, I know circumstances. Not everyone has the money, not everyone can afford to. However, if you can work to save, to travel, I implore you to do it, because it's probably one of the best things you can do for yourself. This one is a big one, especially if you're an introvert. I mean, I used to be a huge introvert. I'm talking books were my friend, and TV shows. I used to watch so many TV shows and read so many books. And I did have friends, but I just didn't work on maintaining that relationship. And you know what happens when everyone else keeps inviting you to things and you keep saying no, and then all of a sudden they give up on you? I was that person. And I had a very bad habit of not maintaining relationships. And I feel that I wish I had put more effort into relationships, into people that actually cared about me and showing them that I cared about them. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be yourself, because I know firsthand what being an introvert's like. Sometimes we don't want to leave the house for a week. We just go to work, go home, and we're happy with that. But even simple things as just texting your friends every once in a while, saying, how are you? Rather than them having to do that all the time. So that is one thing I wish I had focused a lot more, especially when you have very good close friends. Friends are hard to come by. Maintaining relationships. And I've learned, this past few years that how important that is. And this is something that it's a habit and it's a lesson that I've learned, and I wish that I could have carried on in my 20s. However, like I said, it's never too late. This one is very, very, very important for me, and I feel like for a lot of us. Stop taking life so seriously. Have fun. I remember 25, I thought, oh, okay, right now, time to stop playing video games. Time to stop doing things I used to enjoy. If you used to skateboard, it's so weird that you see a guy who's in his 30s and 40s skateboarding and you think, aren't you a bit too old for that? Why? Why would you stop something that you enjoy doing because of, oh, I'm getting older now? Don't forget to have fun. Yes, remember how much fun you had in your 20s. It will change when you're 25, it will change when you're 30, of course. But don't forget the things that made you happy, the small things that made you happy, keep on doing them. You don't have to change your whole personality because of you're getting older. And I wish that this was something I learned a long time ago. I took myself way too seriously. If you looked at my Instagram from when I started, I took myself way too seriously. I thought, oh no, I have to do this perfect physique. I have to stand in a certain way. I couldn't smile. I would never be silly. And it's just, life is not that serious at times. There is so many things going on in this world that is stressful enough, and you should be able to find the joy. There's little things that bring you joy. Don't give those up. Hold on to them. Had people tell me that I'm too old to be watching anime. Why? It makes me happy. It brings me joy. Don't let anyone tell you that the older you get, that you have to then start being serious. So don't forget to have fun. Being in your 30s is actually really fun, and don't stress about it.